Hello, I am Marjorie L. Lane, and I'm going to do my signature project presentation tonight. My signature project is school cultures that build and sustain student achievement. I want to first start by saying when doing my signature project, I was an employee at Heron Creek Elementary School in Enterprise, Alabama. However, I have been blessed to receive the assistant principal position at Charles Henderson High School, where I began March the 8th. About Heron Creek Elementary School. Heron Creek Elementary School is an extraordinary place where children come first. Heron Creek is a progressive school that provides quality education in a warm, nurturing environment. Throughout the school year, our students participated in varied classroom and school-wide activities which support our belief in developing the whole child. We strive to provide many opportunities for maximum student achievement while also recognizing the efforts, talents, and successes of our students. Our mission at Heron Creek Elementary School is to provide a safe, child centered environment that fosters self esteem and self discipline and establishes skills for maximum achievement as students and also as citizens. Some of my personal beliefs is that student learning is the chief priority for the school, and students' learning needs are the primary focus of all decisions impacting the work of the school. All students can learn. Students learn in different ways and should be provided with a variety of instructional approaches to support their learning. Students also learn best when they are actively engaged in the learning process. That is something that is very important to make sure that your students are engaged and they are getting that instruction that they need to be getting inside the classroom. They also have to have a safe and physically comfortable environment that also promotes student learning. Cultural diversity can increase students' understanding of different people and their cultures. The commitment of continuous improvement is imperative if our school is going to enable students to become confident, self directed, lifelong learners. And that is exactly what we want inside of every school. There was a quote that always stood out to me while I was teaching, and that is teaching is about interactions with your students. If you let them, they will always tell you a story. So you let them. My goals for my signature project were created with the needs of all students in mind. Disadvantaged students who scored less than proficient according to the Enterprise City Schools Universal Screener for RTI were targeted for the 2019-2020 school year. All students at Heron Creek Elementary School, including our ELLs, disadvantaged students, and special education students, have access to appropriate programs and services that focus on meeting the needs of each child. They are provided with the opportunity to meet the same challenging state content and student performance standards to which all students are held without being stigmatized or isolated. Some of the strategies that were used to strengthen the academic programs in the school include, but are not limited to, differentiated strategies and instruction. We had our System 44 program, Read 180, I Read, the reading specialist, and the math specialist would pull. They would work with Do the Math, Spire, Hegarty, Reflex Math, iStation, and we also had the paraprofessional support to help. Now, we also had the use of technology to support the learning, such as Compass Learning, Stride, and that would help with our STAR reading and also our STAR math tests that we're taking in the beginning, in the middle, and also at the end of each school year. Our goals, our main goals. Students will continue to consistently improve in reading comprehension and decoding and improve their vocabulary skill. Students will also be able to demonstrate their ability to solve problems in math and also continue improvement in math procedures. They will be able to communicate effectively, both orally and in written form, and our special education students will also improve their test scores. Our outcomes. Our outcomes are to make explicit the cultural shifts necessary to close the achievement gap here at Heron Creek Elementary School. Identify teacher and student actions that lead to establishing a high culture of achievement and meaningful student teacher relationships. It is also that we establish not only student teacher relationships, but for the administration to build those relationships with your parents, with your students, and also your teachers, because that is a big major effect of your school culture. What is your culture? Your school culture is a shared frame of reference for interacting with one another and for interpreting the world in which we live. This common frame of reference includes communication, values, beliefs, and interpretations of experiences. It is reflected in customs, artifacts, rituals, and also ceremonies, legends, myths, and also stories. The school culture has the power to either invigorate or debilitate the vital elements of the school improvement process. It is deep, it is complex, it is powerful, and it is pervasive. So it is very important that your school culture is strong and that everyone inside of the school knows that we want to keep that school culture the same way that it has been, and you want it to stay strong. And that starts from the top. That starts with your admin. Okay. So your admin has to go in strong. That is what we want to change at Heron Creek Elementary School. While doing my signature project, I had to research, and there was some literature that stood out to me the most. Research confirms that a collaborative school culture correlates positively with student achievement. That was from Grunt 2005 and 2015. Numerous studies of school change have identified the organizational culture as critical to the successful improvement of teaching and learning. That was from Fullen, 1998, Rossman, Corbett, and Firestone, 1998. A positive school culture is the underlying reason why the other components of successful schools are able to flourish. Habegger, 2008. My vision for excellent instruction. My vision for excellent instruction is where your lessons are consistently focused on complex content that appropriately challenges students to meet the subject and or grade level standards. Students who are supported to engage fully in the work of the lesson and to be responsible for doing the thinking that the lesson demands. I want to make sure that all learning environments are safe, welcoming, and encourage students to take the risks necessary to master the content that is given to them. Teachers who are intentionally planning and facilitating the learning through the use of high quality standards aligned materials, monitoring data, and collaborating with their school community. It's always important that if this is the things that you want inside of your school, you have to inspect what you expect. So if you expect those things from those teachers, it is important that you go and you inspect to make sure that they are doing what you have asked of them to do. Assessing your school culture. There's two different types. You have a toxic school culture and you have a positive school culture. Okay? Your toxic cultures have the following aspects: lack of purpose, norms reinforce or negativity, adults blame students, collaboration is discouraged or made difficult, hostility among staff, gossip substitutes for information and communication. But when you have a positive school culture, you have the positive school cultures exhibit the following: success is celebrated routinely at all levels, genuine adult trust is nurtured, Communications are regular and frequent. Collaboration is the norm. Fairness in all interactions, policies, and rules is evident in public, and adults learn so that they model for others. Character and moral development are priorities. I can also say, with our school culture, we just adopted the Leader in Me school. So we just became a Leader in Me school. We were just finishing up on year 3. And once we brought that Leader in Me school inside of our school, you can see the dynamics of that school that has changed. So if there is an elementary school, any school, middle school that has not become a Leader in Me school, it is very, very, very important. I think it is a wonderful program. My personal opinion, it has changed our school culture drastically. So that was a great benefit for us. The 10 elements of a school culture where all students can achieve academic success. You have to first possess a very strong vision. You also have to next believe in effort based education. Thirdly, operates based on selective core values. Your core values grow out of the vision and direct the daily efforts toward that long-term target. That is very, very important. Um, Number 4, exercises effective leadership. Effective leaders derive their power from trust, create followers, and mold them as a team. They also motivate people to excel their performance. Celebrate the teaching profession. That's number 5. Teachers should receive the respect, prestige, and status that is commanded by other professions. Why? Because we work just as hard as any other profession does. The community must recognize that teachers are at the heart of their educational enterprise, and that is a very important statement. Number 6, empower teachers to be leaders. Teachers who perform as leaders have a clear sense of what they want students to accomplish, and they are masters of clear and effective communication. Number 7, nourishes a spirit of teamwork. Working in teams allows teachers to validate each other, increase their creativity, and become a self learning organism. Number 8, humanizes education. We must see our school system as a people system rather than a system of programs. We don't teach lessons, we teach kids. All right. Schools should be places where students can develop self esteem and confidence and experience a sense of security and a community of trust. Number 9, generates motivation to learn. Motivation is the desire and the drive required for any kind of successful performance. In education, it is the interest students have in the content being presented and or the desire they have to do well. And number 10, commits to never ending renewal. Schools that are committed to a never ending renewal process practices flexibility, understands and attends the interplay between stability and change. They seek different perspectives and they mine, analyze, communicate, and use data for school improvement purposes. There was also something that I like to reflect on. No teacher left behind means no teacher left alone, no parent left alone, no parent left apart, no principal left aside, and no district left unfunded. In conclusion, we should be dedicated to addressing the needs of the whole child by creating a school environment wherein every child may experience success in social and academic growth, as well as develop enthusiasm for learning. Children learn to cooperate and take responsibility for their actions. They learn to function with a sense of community while maintaining individuality and creative self expression. They are treated with kindness and respect and learn to respect others. The multi-graded classroom environments allow children to become active participants in their own learning process. If we can follow these things, if we take everything that I just stated into consideration, you will build a school culture that is positive and it will sustain academic achievement and academic growth. Thank you.